Hey, welcome to A Game for Your Thoughts. Today we're talking about Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a reboot, sequel, prequel to the first Mirror's Edge. It's really confusing. So Mirror's Edge Catalyst is kind of a reboot, and we're gonna treat it like a reboot because I don't see how it could be a prequel and it's not really a sequel. It's kind of a mess. Okay, this game's a mess. And it's unfortunate because I didn't really love the first game. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it. It was just very, So I was really looking forward to trying the second game to see if they improved. I mean, certainly it improved in several ways, but also kind of downgraded in others. So let's chat about it. So Mirror's Edge follows runner Faith Connors as she gets out of jail and teams back up with her old runner group, and she's now fighting against this group called KrugerSec that's kind of like a security agency, and they have an evil plot to take over the world, so they have to stop these guys and save the world. So the story of Mirror's Edge Catalyst was fine. I really didn't like this story. I'm going to be honest with you. This one was bad. The first game had a very okay story. I was fine with it. Wasn't too memorable. Wasn't too crazy. It was really predictable. This one, I just didn't like it at all. The characters were super uninteresting. Everyone else that she interacted with, I mean, Faith herself was a pretty cool character. I really like seeing her kind of figure out these problems and deal with these issues and kind of her past. I thought that was really interesting. But everyone else was freaking lame. I could not stand some of these characters, and they wanted me to like care about them and be like, oh no, this person's in a bad situation, go help them. And I'm like, why? I don't like them. They're stupid. I hate them. I hate it. Okay? It was really frustrating because it wanted me to care so bad, but I just didn't. They made it so hard for me to care. There was one side character. He keeps popping up, and the whole time he's just this freaking loser douchebag, and you're like, oh, you got to care about him because he's your friend. And I'm just like, I don't care. He was stupid. I hated it. How it wanted me to care so bad, but it made it so hard for me to care about these characters. And so it was just a really rough story overall, and just same thing as the first one. It's pretty predictable. You could see where it was going. It wasn't anything too interesting. There was no big like twists, and any twists that were there, you're like, oh, okay, I guess. I don't know. It just didn't really hit. It didn't hit at all. Nothing really landed with this story. And the worst part about all of it, this part made me really mad. At the very end of the game, you do what happens at the end of the game. I don't want to spoil anything. And you go through like the credits, and it's got like this whole big like monologue, like, oh, we saved the day. But then the worst part is it straight up tells you nothing changed. The game says, yeah, everything is still the same as it was before. That is terrible storytelling. I was sitting there playing it, and I saw that, and I was like, did it really just say that? Did it literally just tell me nothing changed? That is terrible storytelling. You don't have a story that starts somewhere and ends up back in the same place, but nothing's different. So then what was the point of the story? All these things happen from point A to point B, but if nothing changed from point A to point B other than maybe one or two people died, there's not a story there. What was the point of it if nothing changed? The game literally tells you nothing changed. We did all this stuff, but nothing got fixed. That's terrible storytelling. I was really frustrated with that part, and it probably made me more mad than I should. But as someone myself who does a lot of writing and likes hearing really good stories, really cool and interesting stories, that just was really frustrating to me that they literally told you nothing changed. It was really, really frustrating. So outside of the story, you have the gameplay, and I would actually say that Mirror's Edge Catalyst really improved upon the gameplay of the original's Mirror's Edge, and I thought that was awesome, because the first Mirror's Edge had a lot of pacing problems. You get moving really quick, and there was a lot of momentum killing. And this one certainly has that too, but to a lesser degree. That was frustrating as well, because this was a chance to improve. Mirror's Edge Catalyst could have been the moment to be like, okay, what was wrong with the first game? Let's fix that. Let's modify it in the correct way. And certainly they did make improvements. I will certainly say the combat is a little bit better. It's still pretty lame. It's still really slow. And I remember there was one part I was playing this, my wife came in, and she was watching me, and I was like fighting these dudes, and she's like, what are you playing? And I was like, I don't even know. It just like, I was almost embarrassed that I was playing this just from the combat, just like looked so lame. And it was. The combat was really lame. It's always like, you got to mix up your attacks and do these different things to different enemies. But all you have to do is just mash triangle and get them in a corner and kick them into the wall very lightly. And then they're like, ugh. It's stupid. The combat was really lame in this one. Certainly better than the first game, but still not anything that special. It wasn't that awesome. Beyond the combat, the free running is really cool too. They certainly do a lot of the same things, but kind of make it a little bit better. It flows a lot more, which was really nice. And one thing that really helped this is that this is now an open world. So instead of single levels that you just run through from point A to point B, this is now more of an open world where you're going to zigzag and cross paths with places you've gone before, or revisit places, and you're going to get new upgrades and find more efficient ways to traverse the world. And I thought that was really cool. I'd certainly say this game has a better flow and better pacing gameplay-wise than the first game, which was really much appreciated. Graphically, this game does look amazing. That was certainly one thing I was really appreciated of this game, is it looks awesome. The character models look really nice and smooth, and their animations and textures, awesome. The world is gorgeous and tons of fun to look at. There's so many really nice places to just sit there and kind of just look at the world. It's just all very nice and very well crafted, and I certainly appreciated the graphics and just the nice look of this game. It's certainly a very well polished game. I'd certainly say this game has many problems for sure. It's definitely an improvement over the first one in a few aspects, but the storytelling in this game is straight up bad. I really did not like it, and it was really unfortunate because I wanted to like it because I had such not a very awesome time with the first game that I was really hoping the second game would really improve in a lot of really cool and efficient ways, and it did for the most part, but not enough to really make a solid impression. I really don't see myself revisiting Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which is unfortunate, because same thing as the first one. There's a lot of potential here. There was a really great place to make a really solid game, and if they make a third Mirror's Edge, I don't really see myself picking it up just because these first two just didn't really have such good impressions. They just weren't very memorable, and I didn't really understand what the appeal of these games were just because it has such weird pacing, momentum, the storytelling is very lame and unfortunate, and it just is not a very awesome gaming experience, and it was unfortunate because it, like I said, it has a lot of potential. So, would I recommend Mirror's Edge Catalyst? Sure, I guess. This was a hard one because it's not a really awesome game, but it's not a bad game. It's a very okay game. It has a lot of the problems the first one had, and I definitely don't feel like giving them a third chance because they had two chances to do something really cool, but they just really failed on both fronts. Storytelling and gameplay. Storytelling on Mirror's Edge 2, terrible. Not awesome at all. You don't have a story that doesn't change anything. You don't have a story where at the end you're like, yeah, nothing changed. And honestly, Mirror's Edge Catalyst is kind of pointless, and it's unfortunate. I hate to say it. So, I probably would not recommend Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Hey, thank you so much for watching the video. I am so sorry if you like Mirror's Edge. I was not very nice to these games, but it just, they didn't impress me that much, and it was very unfortunate because I really wanted to like them. So let me know down in the comments below, what did you think about Mirror's Edge Catalyst? And while you're down there, if you want to help me out and hit like, subscribe, and the bell to get notified every time I post a new video, that would be amazing. And if you want to see more of me, I'm over on Twitch at twitch.tv/agameforyourthoughts. I'm streaming there all the time, and I would love to see you there. Thanks again so much for watching the video. Don't forget that the key to success is succeeding, and we'll see you guys next time on A Game for Your Thoughts.